Hello everyone, my name is Loco and welcome to a new game of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. Today we got the third game in a series of games between two of the best Zerg players in the entire world. In the bottom right corner of Akelon Waste, we have none other than the blue Zerg, known as Liquid TLO, of course playing for Team Liquid. And his opponent for this game is going to be none other than StarTales Live, the South Korean pro gamer, of course playing for Team StarTales, spawning as a red Zerg in his final best of 3 games. Currently the score is 1-1, and of course best of 3 means that the first player to win 2 games will advance, and in this specific game it is going to be everything or nothing for both players. Now, in the first games, we saw a little bit of a cheesy opener. It does look like Live once again decides to open up with a 10 pool. Now, I think Liquid TLO will be able to go for a save game again, once again, this time around. Because obviously he has already played 2 games versus StarTale Live. So he might be recognizing that StarTale Live likes the aggressive play versus the non-Koreans. And it might look like Liquid TLO is even opening up with a 14 gas into a 14 spawning pool. This is one of the older build orders that we used to see a lot. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we see a gas geyser going down as well for StarTale Live. So Live is most likely gonna put once again all his eggs in one basket, not really meaning to transition, only transitioning into more drones if it turns out to be necessary, because he is forced to do at least a little bit of damage. He's probably going to make a bunch of Zerglings right here. He's going to probably take a drone off gas right now as well and start making a bailing nest once again. At least that's what he did in game 1. Here we go. Once again, the bailing nest going down, whereas his opponent, Liquid TLO, is still having 3 drones mining in gas. He's actually having a spawning pool on the way right now as well, so he might be able to hold this quite easily. Now, meanwhile, before starting the Queen and the Zerglings, Liquid TLO is deciding to go for a 15 hatchery. Now this might be forced to cancel because he might not be able to hold it. However, we will see exactly what is gonna happen. Liquid TLO did notice with this hero overlord right now that Zerglings are moving across the map. So how is he gonna respond to himself? Well, he's gonna make Zerglings for himself. He's gonna start the Queen. He pulled drones off gas and he started the metabolic boost upgrades, which will obviously give the Zerglings speed as soon as they can. And right now Live sees, oh my god, there's no natural down whatsoever. Liquid TLO didn't even start it. So right now we see the spine crawler going down for Liquid TLO, instantly getting the console on that one. And of course there is a bailing right there out at the front door for StarTale Live. If he managed to get a nice hit with that one bailing, that might be the end for Liquid TLO and might mean the victory for this series for StarTale Live, but it looks like StarTale Live does not want to engage just yet. If he gives too much time, however, to the blue Zerg player, nice hit right there going down, but if he gives too much time to Liquid TLO, the spine crawler will finish up and everything will not look as pretty. Of course, if you take a look at the income tab right now, Liquid TLO is slightly ahead, so the longer the game goes on, the more Zerglings Liquid TLO will be able to produce. And of course, he also has the defender's advantage, which means there's a spine crawler down, and it also means that his Zerglings get to his main army much faster than StarTale Live units do. As you can see, the little tiny bit of worker difference already adds up to a 6 supply difference between both players. Liquid TLO's Zergling speed is finishing up right now, however, and Live recognized it and decided to not go for a hatchery himself. However, it looks like Live is in a little bit of a rough position. Liquid TLO read the game quite perfectly so far, and he does manage to get a lot of Zerglings into the main base of StarTale Live. Now he's probably not looking to do too much damage because he knows there's a bailing nest up, but he's mainly trying to force units out of his Zerg opponent right now. As you can see, Live is pretty much forced to make a whole lot of Zerglings to make sure that he won't just straight up die. So that is all that Liquid TLO is really trying to do right now. He's trying to take whatever damage he can, and obviously if he will be able to pick off a drone, he will gladly do so. But Zergling speed is not done yet for ST Live. ST Live has a very hard time holding on right now, whereas Liquid TLO already got a bunch of drone kills. Once again, a drone kill going down. If you take a look at the income tab right now, it is actually a gigantic advantage for Liquid TLO. 14 versus 8 right at this moment, and it means that he will just be able to almost double produce his Terran or his Zerg opponent. And you know, there's a nice nice little pickup right here for the Overlord, sure, but that's maybe not going to be enough. However, Baneling's going down once again for Startle Life. Startle Life is going to try and do as much damage as he can. However, the Queens are there to take care of everything. They're gonna be hold positioning on the ramp. They actually have energy for a transfuse, at least one Queen does. So if SC Life decides to go on this ramp, which he does look like he's deciding to do, he will need to take on this Queen. But however, there is going to be a transfuse being used on that Queen right now, moving the other Queen back, and Liquid TLO is actually doing this perfectly, not losing anything besides those Zerglings right here, but it's not looking detrimental whatsoever. Liquid TLO, however, will have a Spine Crawler backing him off, and of course there are drones right here. Will he be able to get the Queen? He does manage to get the Queen in the end, but at what cost? If you take a look at the income tab right now, there are still 7 more Harvesters for Liquid TLO, and he's actually at quite a gigantic advantage right now. A few more Zerglings strictly informed live, checking out what is going on, but that is not going to be enough to take out the hatchery that Liquid TLO is about to take. There we see Liquid TLO actually sending his own Zerglings across the map right now, doing a little bit of scouting because he does not know whether or not there is a hatchery down for his Zerg opponent, but it does look like nope, there's no hatchery down for Startle Life, where there is a hatchery going down right now for Liquid TLO. So right now, the game is slightly in favor for Liquid TLO. He of course has a little bit of an easier defending advantage because he has a few defensive Banelings, he has a Spine Crawler, he has Creep on the low ground right now as well. And of course, SC Life doesn't really know if it is safe to take this hatchery. There might be a lot of TLO units incoming soon, and he will need to somewhat blindly prepare for that right now. If you take a look at the income right now, it is actually slightly in favor of Liquid TLO still. And what TLO needs to do is push that advantage as long as he can. Even though the Harvested difference right now is only 3 drones, it is still a 7th more that Liquid TLO can produce over what Startle Life can produce. So the longer this game goes on, the more stuff Liquid TLO will be able to produce. But here we go, there are a few Banelings morphing in right now. One Startle Life Baneling is out here as well. However, there is a Spine Crawler on the low ground, so it would be slightly risky right now to move up the ramp, because Liquid TLO will right click on that Baneling, poke at it with a Spine Crawler, and he will be able to take it down very quickly. However, there are a lot of Zerglings out right now for Startle Life. He has a far superior Zergling count, and Liquid TLO will either need to have perfect Banelings detonations while droning up, or, ooh, so close right there. If Startle Life didn't watch his Banelings for, or Zerglings for even just a second, there would be a Baneling in the middle of this army, but it did look like Startle Life is on top of his control, make a little bit of a risky move right there, almost once again taking a gigantic Baneling hit. And if he would have lost all these Zerglings, Liquid TLO would have gone straight for the counterattack and probably just pick up the game right here and there. However, it did look like Liquid TLO is microing properly so far. Once again, gonna take a look at the income tab. Both players are even right now in income. It does look like Startle Life did manage to catch up for the time being, and it does look like both players recognize they will not be able to do too much damage to each other. So both players decide to drag more and more of them drones. So at this point, what can both players really be transitioning into? That can be, of course, be the armor upgrade going down right away. Which means that Liquid TLO is probably gonna go for a little bit of an aggressive play once again. Already preemptively splitting up all of these Banelings, as you can see. And he's most likely gonna move those across the map. Zerglings are across the map as well, catching a few of those Zerglings. However, one Baneling going down to one Zergling, so that is not the best of trades for Liquid TLO. But a lot of Banelings going down right there for TLO. TLO is trying to do at least get something done with all these units. He is going to have a few Banelings that are trying to, of course, get in the middle of a group of Banelings. If 2 Banelings do manage to detonate on top of all these Banelings, there will be nothing, and so far no economic damage has been done whatsoever. Perfect defense so far from Live, and he actually manages to clean up completely everything, which is not what Liquid TLO was looking for. Liquid TLO wanted to do at least a little bit of economic damage. However, it looks like he's not done with his aggression just yet. He recognizes that there will not be too much defense left for his opponent. However, it is going to be insanely hard to get back from this position. Liquid TLO, if you take a look at the income tab, he's actually still slightly with 1 worker ahead right now. But if he's going to keep throwing units like this to his opponent Startle Life, it will not look pretty. However, 2 Banelings did manage to sneak by. If he gets a nice little hit right there, it might be enough. And a few drones only going down. If you take a look at the workers killed, there's only 3 more workers being killed so far in this entire game for Liquid TLO, and it is looking relatively even. A stray overlord decided to not wanting to be alive again, and he simply sacrifices that one to go into the main base. Probably, you know, probably just got stuck in a control group. So let's see what both players are up to. Looks like Starcraft Live is taking his own lair right now, as well as double evolution chamber. Whereas Liquid TLO is only just now starting his lair up. Getting more gas guys, is already having a gas at the natural as well. Not deciding to go for the roaches once again, but deciding to go for the zerglings instead. I wonder what this drone is doing. I actually thought he was gonna build a baling nest, or not a baling nest, a roach warren with that one. However, it does look like he does not decide to do so. Third base going down for Liquid TLO in a little bit of an awkward positioning. This is actually not properly positioned, should be right there or so. So I'm a little bit curious why he's doing it like this, whereas his opponent Starcraft Live is taking the normal third base. Now a zergling somehow, some way did manage to get into the main base, scouting that a roach warren was going down eventually for Liquid TLO, but Liquid TLO not opting to get the missile upgrade just yet, whereas his opponent Starcraft Live is already getting the missile upgrade +1, as well as an infestation pit, as well as Clio reconstitution, which is the roach speed upgrade for the roaches that he has out. And as you can see, because of the roaches that are out right now for Starcraft Live, he's gonna get really far ahead in supply really quickly, because roaches obviously are super supply heavy. However, it does look like Liquid TLO finished up +1/+1 right now, so his zerglings are insanely strong. If these zerglings do not do enough damage right now, it might be end of the game. Nice hit right there, going down on that baneling, but however the baneling was not enough to one-shot those zerglings anymore. Of course, because he has +1 armor, it takes 2 hits from a baneling to kill zerglings, and there we go, once again getting a nice little detonation on all of these workers. Let's have a look how many workers are killed so far. 14 versus 8, so he's pushing the advantage slightly, but is it going to be enough? Let's have a look at the income tab, and both players are so ridiculously even. Once again, both of them at 50 harvesters, both of them getting a third base up, and it does look like Liquid TLO did decide to cancel the third and put it up a little bit closer to where he wanted to. A little bit of a missed movement right there by Liquid TLO, but hold that thought. Oh no, thought he was gonna try and run into the main base and get a lot of damage done, but there were roaches right there to block that in time. Now, Starcraft Live is being forced to play relatively defensive right now, whereas his opponent, even though the roach warren is down, he is going to be producing 13 Mutalisks. Now the Mutalisks are going to be really crucial, because he will only make this amount of Mutalisk, and that's it. Let's have a look. Did Starcraft Live see the Spire? He did not see the Spire. Will he see it right now? Which might be crucial. He does see it right now, but will he actually be actively looking at this Overseer? I highly doubt it. So here we go. The Mutalisks are going to be flying across the map. He did see it, so these 4 crawlers are going down, but those might be slightly too late. Liquid TLO is already transitioning into roach speed, so he is going to be moving out. However, those Mutalisks are going to be plenty to deal with all of these roaches. Those roaches will not be able to get away, and of course Starcraft Live recognizes this, but to keep the roaches out of the third base, he is forced to move out with his roaches, because then Liquid TLO uses them for defense. So here we go. A few roaches do manage to get into the natural. Nice little bit of drone micro right there by Liquid TLO, recognizing those roaches were on move command instead of attack move, and a few roaches do manage to get into the main base. However, a few are at the third base as well, and if he might be able to target fire those down, it might mean a lot more. However, also a few zerglings are running by right now for Liquid TLO, doing a lot of damage. So the third base is under fire for both players, but it does look like Starcraft Live will be able to pick off the third base of Liquid TLO, and Liquid TLO did not manage to kill the third base of Starcraft Live just yet. However, there looks to be a lot more stuff, and keep in mind those zerglings of Liquid TLO are at +1/+1, where the zerglings of Starcraft Live are only at +1 armor, so he might be able to kill off this hatchery, especially with those Mutalisks coming in right now, as well as more zerglings. The first infestor is going down, a few infestors on the high ground trying to get a nice fungal growth down on all of these Mutalisks, but of course it only is going to be worthwhile if those infestors get a chain fungal down, because Mutalisks right now heal up super quickly because of the upgrade that they got in Heart of the Storm. So here we go. Liquid TLO is going to try and play it very risky, because he might be able to kill off all these infestors, which he ends up doing. Or he might have just almost lost all of them. He's once again going to target fire down all of these infestors, and it looks like Liquid TLO made a very clear decision to play risky. But if it pays off, it pays off big. And as you can see right now, Liquid TLO is at a gigantic advantage. Right now, Life is trying to get out a few Hydralisks right now to deal with those Mutalisks, but it is actually not enough, because Hydralisks need to be grouped up to be at least somewhat effective, and the Mutalisks are just right there in the middle, and it does GG out of the game. So Liquid TLO ends up winning this little series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, and hopefully I will see you again. Bye!